All right. Hello, folks. Welcome, weirdos and weirdettes. My name is Haunted, and today we're going to be working on, let me get it in frame because it's auto frame for some reason. We're going to be working on the iconic Dreamer, the 75 millimeter miniature version itself. I am very excited about this model. One, I've always loved Dreamer. Dreamer was actually my first crew. Well, actually, it was technically my second, but it was the one that really drew me. I just picked another one because supposedly Dreamer was hard to play. So I was like, well, let's get this other one instead. But Dreamer was one that really caught my eye. So I kind of consider him my first one, even though he wasn't technically. But anyways, we're going to be painting that today. We're going to be doing a lot of airbrushing, which is unusual for me. So I am out of practice. Expect mistakes. Anyways, let's get to it, folks. How's everybody doing? Did everybody have a good holiday? Whatever they celebrate it. Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa thing. I'm going to start with getting a little bit of water in the pot here. You're probably not seeing that, but I will. It's just water. Okay, so we put a little bit of water in there. We're going to get some of our Rhinox hide. This is kind of my go-to for browns, and Teddy is brown basically. So some of that going in there. We're almost out of Rhinox. Oh no. Oh no. Not good. That might be enough. Just need just a smidge more water in there. I think that'll work now. Hey, Doug, how are you doing? Good to see you. What I'm doing right now is I'm just doing a little backflow. I pinch the tip of the brush, a little bit of air, and it agitates the pot from needle side end. And one of the funniest things about this brown is it is really technically a purple. You see it going on. It comes on kind of purple. But it's just going to be kind of like in the darkest recesses, and we're doing some purple tones anyway, so this will actually work out really well. Hey, Slimify, is that it? Welcome in. Happy New Year to you. New to Malifaux Dreamer was one that caught your eye and partner treated to you to the core box for Christmas. Nice. Very cool. Well, welcome in to Malifaux. Welcome back to painting. And welcome to the stream. Good to see you. I think Dreamer is single-handedly responsible for probably 95% of, well, maybe not 95, but I'd say probably upper 75% of Malifaux players. He's just, well, chompy bits. So iconic. So definitely one of the fan favorites, I think. Give that a second to dry. Trying to figure out what we're going to do clothes-wise for this. We might do, let's see here. Something, I want to do his scarf red. Okay. Of course, the blonde hair. I was going to do brown coat, but Teddy's brown, so we'll probably figure something else out. Maybe a dark purple, like eggplant kind of color, or maybe an olive green, and then tan or khaki-ish pants. We could do that. I think that might work. Yeah. Okay. So give this a little rush along here. I'm going to blow just some straight air on this zone. I was surprised this one didn't have patches on it. Like most teddies, they have the little patchwork uh, panels, quilted pieces. I don't know. The little flat spots that you can do freehand on, which I did on my teddy. I did a bandana pattern. So that kind of paisley print with the little swirls and dots and lines and stuff like that. I've done that on all of mine. And we don't have those panels on this one. So what we might do the panel on his belly. So we've got a nice big flat space there. So we might do a little paisley print patch there. Or we could just do it kind of like the creamy white, color, the light tan color. Okay, now let's try. Goodness gracious. That was very wet. Okay, Doug, see you in a few. Hey, Lady Kachera, how are you doing today? Welcome in. Get a little bit of water back in our pot. And try and get a little bit of Rhinox out of this before we break into our new bottle, because I really don't want to do a decanting on stream. Okay. Oh, very nice. Very nice. Let's see here. I think, yeah, we're going to go more of this color. So we're going to put a little bit of Mournfang here and mix it with our previous color, the Rhinox. Definitely need a little bit more water there. Oh, you almost bought it. Oh, okay. And you got the Curiosity Killed the Cat. Well, that is a cool set too. And it's one that's I've actually got on my not my wish list, but like one of those that I really want to put a lot of time into. So it's going to be a while before I get to it. But yeah, Crazy Cat Lady Hamlin, I'm into it. That's a fantastic set. Now, did you get it all? Did you get all the cat princesses and cat herders and all that? Nim and Malifaux at Nova Open and hoping to learn play suit. Very cool. That's good to hear. We're going to do a little bit more of that backflow we're talking about. Pinch the tip here, with a little bit of air, and you'll see the bubbles start rising. So now we're getting mixed up there. We're just going to come down from about a 45-degree angle on him. Okay, now we're just going to do plain air right now. Just no paint, just air. Drying that off a little bit. or encouraging the dry process is what we're doing actually. Waiting in the wing spots to come out Friday for your collect crew. Very nice. Very nice. That's another one. That is probably going to be the last crew I ever do because I want to put a lot of time in the collect. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous set of stalks. And currently, I'm so behind on my commissions because I have not been able to paint due to pretty much real life circumstances. The only thing I can do is my weird stream, and that's about it. It's been a real strain on my painting style. I haven't touched a model of my own outside of weird streams in months, and that bothers me. I have a hard time not painting something for myself once in a while. Yeah, the former sets are really beautiful. They had not come out when I got into or the new ones had not come out when I got into Melifaux. They had the Nightmare Crew was actually the big one, the Carnival one, which was pretty cool in itself. But it didn't pull me in like Old Dreamer did. Now we've just gone with a full Mournfang. Give it another little back flush real quick. And then we're going to come in and concentrate on the tips here. There we go. Hope I am on screen. Sorry. Okay. Well, most of that off, I'm going to leave a little bit in there. I'm going to add a little bit of, where are you? Where's my other khaki color? It is hiding from me, folks. We'll find it in a second. Come on. Where have you? There she is. Whew. Wow. Way outside my normal paint area. Okay. A little bit of Japanese uniform going in there now. With a big old bubble to start with. I actually don't want to end this brush, so I'm going to transfer a little bit of that to my other brush. This is my Sotar 2020. And let's get a little bit of that in there. Okay. Add some water to that because that was definitely thick. Okay. That should do that. Get my airbrush line set up. It is, like I said, been a while since I've done any airbrushing, so I'm a little rusty. Do a little back flush like we did before. Just catching the top spots here. So we got a little piece of part in here. Probably going to blow my camera out. Apologies for that. Corner sets are so beautiful, to be honest. They're so many incredible. Yeah, there really are. I mean, there's so many for sure. That definitely makes it hard, which is kind of why I kind of collect them all. I've got a good, I think at this point, 60% of their line, maybe 70%. I'm just getting the tops of those eyebrows here. And tops of the cheeks, of course. Okay. Let's hit it just a wee bit more up here on these arms. Oh, Captain Sneezy Pants has arrived again. A little bit up here on the tops of his moobs. On the feet. A little bit back here on the back too. We don't want to forget about this area. Bless you, kitty cat. Okay. All I'm going to do on that, I want to do some real quick cleaning on the brushes. Gold Bear. Is it gold? I guess it's kind of gold. Okay. A little more style Malifaux have been a huge draw for me. I've never been interested in tabletop miniature games, but this one is an exception. Very nice. I have heard a lot about the lore, but I have not read so much. I am trying to rectify that, particularly with the audio versions. The Chronicles, Malifaux Chronicles, and what was the other? It's not Breach Side. Oh gosh, Weird Hobby, help me. What are the two audio lore channels? Breach Side Broadcast and Tales of Malifaux. Thank you. Okay, I was on the right. I wasn't sure if the Breach Side was right. Okay, yeah, those. I am attempting to catch up on those. That's a lot, though. I think they just did their 200th episode, so it's going to be a bit before I catch up. Or so, oh, I didn't even know there was a third one. Whoops. Yeah, I got up to basically where the Gremlins were introduced with the Ortegas and the Gremlins, and that first scene where the Gremlin is swinging a gun barrel by the barrel and hits, I think, Papa Loco or Santiago. I can't remember. But anyways, the gun discharges and blows his own head off. I was like, that's so Gremlin. I love it. And the fact that all his buddies were laughing at him as he blew his own head off, it cracked me up. That was a good introduction to Gremlins. Not too bright. Friends over the year have played all sorts and mostly played to socialize. Hello, kitty cat. Why are you so vocal? I thought we'd taken care of this. Mostly card games and too cheap, but Melly feels like a mini game that used to find the idea of painting a bit of chore. Yeah, I mean that's one of the nice things about Malifaux. It is being a smaller game, you don't have as many miniatures to paint, and the fact that they are all their own characters, even those models that you have multiple copies of, like your, the Drudges or the Sorrows or whatever. You have 3 copies of them, your little minions, but they're all individual sculpts. They're all their own thing. So it's not a bore to do them. Like painting, tens of hundreds of those other miniatures from the other companies. We won't mention their name. All that large scale war game stuff gets really boring because the models are all samey. At least all the ones with each, within each troop level, faction level, whatever you want to call it, they get very samey. You'll have 100 of the same model on the table, and it's just boring. Yeah, definitely do that. All right, almost done here with this little bit of cleaning, and then we're going to do some brush work next. So we'll be done with the airbrushes here in just a second. Started with being interested in painting and wanting to play. Yeah, that's awesome. Now here's something this is one of the things that has bothered me, because I do like to have my miniatures painted before they get on the table, but because I have so many, it's kind of just impossible. So one of my friends, actually a client, has this idea. They buy 2 sets of everything. So they have a crew that they play with, and then they have a brand new on sprue crew that they send me to paint. So they're playing with, either primed or basically painted miniatures while I'm painting theirs for them in a commission. And when they get done, they sell their previous army, bit of a loss, but they've played it, they've gotten their use out of it, but they haven't been held back by not having painted miniatures. And I think that's kind of cool. So that's what I'm starting to do. Some of the crews that I really want to play but haven't gotten around to painting, I'm doubling up. Okay, almost done, and then we can shut that compressor off for a bit. I was very happy to have no clogs today. That was fantastic. Like the last time I used an airbrush on stream, it was like one clog after another, and I was just like, oh man, please. So today has been pretty good with the airbrushes. Okay, good with that. That's out of the way. That's out of the way. Here we go. Brushes are down. Now we can get into some paint. Okay. So I'm not sure what we're going to do about that belly. We were talking about doing it as a colored patch, like what we have on my other, my painted Teddy, where it's like a bandana print or paisley print. And we could do that, or we could do the lighter tan color. Does anybody have any others what they'd like to see? While we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and base his claws in. So give me some black here. You made a mess. Oh no! I was brought you an airbrush for Christmas. I finally got to use for. Yeah. Airbrushes can be kind of messy to start with. You'll learn to get it figured out soon enough. I will tell you this. Get yourself a filter box, okay? Either one of those little spray booths that you can buy on Amazon that fold down, or go online and look up how to make a spray booth, with some HEPA air conditioning filters and like an old bathroom fan or whatever. The reason I say this is, okay, you can spray indoors, it's fine. But over time, especially when you've been at it for like 10 years, you will develop this layer about this thick, this little bitty thin layer of red, black, purpley dust on everything in the house. And you can clean it all up, and 2 days later, it will be right back because it gets into the ventilation system. And like I said, it's such small particulates, you don't notice it. But it gets in there and it never comes out unless you get one of those chimney sweeps to go in there and clean your ventilation system out. So do yourself a favor, get a filtered airbrush booth. Okay. It's not a whole lot of money. It's well worth it. I wish I'd done it. I didn't. May have turned the airbrush upside down at one point, try to go. Paisley print would be cool to see. Okay, we can do that. All right. Hubby got you a super fancy spray booth to go with the airbrush and compressor. It has fans, LED. Nice. Very cool, Lady Kachera. That's good. That's good. Doesn't go in halvesies. Doesn't go in half measures. That's the way to do it. All right. Good deal. Yeah, that's my little public service announcements for today. Get yourself a spray booth. It really will save you a lot of time and effort in cleaning later. Because, I got the airbrush thing on. Great. I can spray inside. No more spray cans, so I can do this. It's great. It's dandy. Oh, God, what is this purple, red, black dust everywhere? I can't get rid of it. Oh, no. Yeah, so definitely worth preventing if you can. Slim and Fine, do you want red or blue as the base for that patch on the belly? I'm thinking blue would probably be better because his scarf is going to be red and they'll sit like that. So blue would probably set off better for the patch, but we could do red too. Blue would be great. Okay, that's what we'll do. Good to know about the part. Yeah. Like I said, it's something you don't notice at first because they are so fine. Yeah, you'll see them on your desk, but you don't think about that big picture about how and where it's going and how much is accumulating until it's reached a critical state, and you can't really do anything without fixing up the ventilation system. So definitely something I like to warn people about. Also, I mean, it doesn't hurt to wear a respirator. I don't, obviously, because you wouldn't be able to understand me if I did. But if you're spraying yourself, definitely go ahead and wear one of those too. Unless, now, if it's got a really nice fan and it pulls all the particulates really well, you don't have to worry about it. But better safe than sorry. And keep your cats out of the room when you do it too, or dogs, or ferrets, whatever you have, because their little lungs are a little bit more susceptible to it. That's why Captain Sneezy Pants is the way he is, because he was in my hobby room all the time when I was painting. And they don't make kitty respirators. He got permanent respiratory issues. Yep. The kitty cats need to be safe too. Like I said, it's one of those things that happens over time and you don't think about it at the time. So let my experiences help you out. I'm going to go ahead and get my glasses on this. I know it's a bigger model, but still kind of need my glasses. And we're also going to be doing some brush work on the fur too, so don't think we've forgotten about it. I wanted to get some nice blended undercoats first, but we'll be bringing up those hairs individually as well. Maybe not on stream because that will get boring in a heartbeat, kind of like when we did fur lishes, because we were doing every individual little piece of greenery. So we won't do that today. I think the vent is pretty good though. Had a door open with a vent out the window, and booth has 2 fans. There you go. I think that'll work. You'll probably be fine with that. Yep. I'm not sure what brand you got, but a lot of airbrushes have a little cap that you can actually put on the top, and it will help prevent spills. It won't entirely because there's still a small vent hole in it, but it will prevent most spill accidents. I don't have mine handy, but it's just a little metal or plastic cap that goes over the pot of your airbrush and has a small like pinhole in it for the top to vent it. And like I said, that will help prevent those spills from angling the pot too much. Got a Badger Patriot. That is a good, solid workhorse brush. I have one as well. That was what I used the first few passes on this. That's my Patriot there. I have 6 Badger brushes, 2 Iwatas, and a Harder and Steenbeck HNS, whatever you call it. But the one I use 99% of the time is either that Patriot or the Chrome. The Chrome I really like because it's basically 2 airbrushes in one when you buy the retail package, because you get the ultra fine and the fine conversion in it. So you get a 0.5 and a 0.3 brush, or 0.21. I think it's 0.21. So you can get some really nice details, and it just has a nice heft, balanced feel to it. And it's got a very smooth trigger. It's just, and like I said, having it as your first brush basically means you have 2. Granted, you have to switch out all the components, but it's nice to have that option. So, okay, go ahead and get those teeth blocked in as well. Start with this English uniform here, just for good coverage for the off-white. Do have a little bit of gum showing up there, so we'll have to work on that to make sure we get that taken care of, shown off. probably going to be cracking in some new brushes soon. I got a couple for Christmas. Never used them before. Don't know how they'll work, but they're relatively cheap as sables go. We'll just see. I've been using this synthetic for quite a while, and I really like it. But unfortunately, it suffers the same problem as all broken toads. One, expensive, and two, the chain of supply is hard to get to. They've been out of stock for months on them. So I used to love my broken toes, but between supply issues and quality issues of their brushes have just plummeted. I've been in the market for new brushes, and I'm not sure where I'm going to end up. But I need something soon, so we thought we'd try these others out. They're by Game Envy, and they're like $7 a brush, which is not bad for a natural hair brush. So we'll see how they work out. Well, that's your Kit Kat. Okay. Switch over to the blue real quick. Basically what we're doing, other than the fur, we're just doing our base coats. We're blocking it in. So this is a Prussian blue I'm using. A little bit more water there. Okay. We'll probably have to come back in with a second coat on this. That's fine. I'd rather do it a little thin and make multiple coats than have brush marks in it. We started out a little thick, so. So here we go. First coat down. We'll come back to that in a second. So let's dry it up a bit. And now we're going to work on the claws a little bit. Going to get a little bit of Eclipse Gray. This is a scale color. We'll mix a little bit of that with some plain black. We don't want to dip too low too quick. Spill Paint Pot. Hey, how are you doing? Welcome in and Happy New Year to you. Hope things bode well for you. This is that Eclipse Gray with a little bit of black mixed in it. So you're not going to see a huge difference. But once we start adding the other on, you'll notice it more. You'll see that it is blendable that way. Now, if I really wouldn't get crazy, I probably could get my airbrush in here and do the claws. But I think we fiddle farted with the airbrush enough today. Getting back to our roots, let's do some brush painting. Okay, so almost done with that color, and then we'll just go to Eclipse Gray and start working up from there. Once that's dried. More water there. Keep it a little wet there so it'll blend a little bit better. So is everybody doing their gotten their resolutions done? It's something I've not done in a long time. I've not done the old resolution thing. I don't know if it's kind of fallen out of habit or not. Does anybody still do that? I'm going to go through some dark gray from Vallejo. Sort of am, mostly just to start a healthier lifestyle. I need to get in better shape, reduce hip pain. So I get a puppy this spring. It sounds like a very reasonable one to do. That's most people tend to go a little too crazy and set unrealistic goals. So always good to get a moderate goal set and one that has a benefit at the end, like getting a puppy. So good deal. I wish you well with yours. I really need to get in shape myself. I mean, round is a shape, but I mean, I need to get in better shape. can't walk much due to hip pain, and I want to be able to walk. Yeah, that is good motivation. Like I said, you got a reward at the end. That's always a good thing, right? Got to have that motivation. And I've actually heard a lot of people do that. They get a dog to help motivate them to go out. And that's actually not a bad idea because they do require that. Cats don't. Where's my intermediate blue? London gray. That'll work. That's a little too bright. So we'll add a little bit of our dark gray to that. So this is just a mix of London gray and the dark gray from before. Probably should have cleaned up these mold lines just a tad better. They're not bad on the claws, but I was in a rush today, so I didn't clean them up super duper good. Okay. Let's see here. Probably in the lab or Shepherd family. Now, just a heads up on shepherds, they tend to have their own hip problems. So it tends to be kind of a thing for the breed, especially one that's of higher pedigree. Those that have a mixed lineage are a little bit better. They don't tend to have the problems as much. But a papered German Shepherd is very likely to have hip problems later on. Three of my friends have them, and all three of them have had a hip replacement surgery by the age of 5. Just something to keep in mind on Shepherd mixes. That came out a lot harder than I wanted. Yeah, I mean, they're absolutely fantastic dogs. They're so smart and loyal and really good at, as a guard dog, but they do tend to have that problem. I said, if you get one that's not perfect breeding or whatever, you're probably going to be probably going to be fine. Be getting whatever fits me when you. There you go, shelter dog, yay! I haven't had to do that for years with my cats because they show up on the doors, on the doorstep. They have a community network, kind of like the old Hobo network, and they have a little message in front of my house in cat language that says, "This person will take you in. So if you need a home, come here." I've never had to go to the shelter. All of my 4 current cats have showed up on my doorstep. Captain Sneezy Pants, the one that you hear quite often, was the oldest, I guess. He showed up Thanksgiving 2010. The other one showed up as a package October before last. Lucifer, the little black one, I mainly brought him in because, I live in the sticks and these people up here will kill a black cat just for the fun of it on Halloween. So I brought him in, but then I realized he and the other cat were really close together anyway. So I was like, you know what? Y'all are just going to come as a pair. Hey, Total. Hey, Dragon. How you two doing? Good to see you. Total, are you watching on our tax dollars again? Because for you, it's okay. Anybody else, I'd have a problem with it. I see your message. Yeah, you are okay. Well, good to see you, man. Glad you made it in. How's your New Year's going so far? Just kind of cutting this in a little bit closer to that line. So far, so good, you reckon? Okay. Well, that's good, I think. cat is so spoiled. I'm hoping to build him an outdoor enclosure this year. Nice. A catio. I actually would like to do that for mine as well. But I'm actually going to be using the space for a chicken coop because eggs have just gotten out of sight. So his catio is going to be taken up by chickens instead. Doing okay. Really looking forward to getting into airsoft. Is okay. This your new passion project? Okay, about cotton claws where I want them. We'll maybe touch them up a little bit later, but we're in pretty decent shape right now. Are we staying on screen or am I off a lot? I think I'm kind of off. We're going to push the camera back just a wee bit. Very much, though, still modeling. Have a lot of expensive hobbies. Well, hobbies are good. Keep you out of trouble. Right? All right. This coat will hopefully not take as long to dry. Being thinner and waterier should dry pretty good. Yeah, oh, my hobbies are expensive. I just want to be able to buy food at a decent price. Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous. So I actually have started utilizing my work too. Like you're using yours, I'm using mine. I've got 3 beef cattle now that will be made into hamburger soon. Hamburger steaks, whatever. And like I said, building the chicken coop. So I'm doing what I can to offset the crazy food prices as well. I'm still trying to decide what color we want to do his eyes, because they're pretty well defined. We could do them like real eyes, or we could do them like evil, crazy, glowy eyes, or just about any old way. Thinking about going to a field over Sugar Hills, fixing to go soon. Cool. Okay, I'm gonna mix in a little bit of Thousand Suns blue with our dark Prussian. This is what we'll kind of work up toward, because we don't want just blue, do we? Can't have that. With a little bit of that thin dirt pressure, just kind of smooth those together. We'll see how that dries in a second. It's bad when I go online looking for stores and see where I can get the best value for the food you need. Yeah, it is. I mean, I've always been a bargain shopper, like always. I mean, I literally carry, well, don't have to worry about it as much anymore because most stores print a price per unit at the bottom, right? Price per ounce or price per uh, unit. But used to, what I would do is I would carry a calculator with me and I'd look at the weight of everything, put it into the price, and get a price per ounce, and then compare ounces because so many of the things were a big disparity between 1 ounce and the other. And that was how I shot. I mean, I've always done that, but now it's a lot easier. Like I said, most of the time the little barcodes have that right next to the price and the on it, so not as big a deal now. But yeah, shopping has gotten rather pricey. I mean, when a big 60-inch TV costs less than a week's worth of groceries, something's wrong. Getting it brightened up there a little bit. We're going to come back in with a Prussian blue, work that in a little bit more. Our lighter color again. I want to build that up just a wee bit more. Just putting a little breath to it, trying to get it to dry a little quicker. See how that looks in a second. Oops. The cat has decided to park his butt right underneath my foot. Trying to think what color I'm going to paint these no, the little paw pads. They go here on his feet. Let's go with this forest skin color for right now. We may change it later. That definitely needs a little breakup of color. Okay. Oops. Got a little bit of color mixed in with that. Was not supposed to be there. Came from a water cup. A little was on the rim. Extra rinse to the rescue. If any of you weirdos don't know, the new cards from Malifaux, from the new Malifaux book, are in the app. I was looking at those a little bit before stream, particularly the angler cards, the Clampets and their kin. I am anxious to paint those. Anxious to play and paint those. If you hadn't seen them, I'll show it to you real quick. Here's their main card here. Run like a big Silurid. Got the whole family on the back end hanging on. Got a fishing rod with another family member as bait. It's a fantastic looking model. And the play style looks fun too. So really anxious to get a hold of these guys. I've gotten to where I really, really like my little Bayou. It's funny because I came to them so late. Like they were the last faction I dipped my toe into. Neverborn. I have about 75% of the line. Rezzers, I have the entire line except for the Yanlo core box. That's the only box I'm missing right now. From the entire Rezzer line. And I've got a pretty good hunk of Outcast now. But Bayou is just late to the party. But Ma kind of stole my heart with a chicken rider, so we had to switch gears to them for a bit. Actually, I still have one more to paint. We painted almost that entire keyword on stream, I think. And I think I have one more chicken rider or rooster rider to paint. And of course the Rock Hopper and Mecha Meemaw I have not painted. But I do have. I've got them sitting there waiting in the wings. One of these days we'll get them. He's got these little indentations on his paw pads where the wagon, where he slots into the wagon, so we don't have to paint all the way across those paw pads. When I first saw the wagon, I thought it was, I guess in the renders, I thought it was smooth, but it does have a little pattern in it. I was going to, I'm still going to paint it red, but I was going to freehand the words Red Rider on it, or not Red Rider, Radio Flyer. Sorry, Radio Flyer, because that was a big popular wagon brand back in the day. But with that pattern in it, I don't want to attempt to do the freehand. But it was something I had in mind when I first saw this model was doing that Radio Flyer freehand. But once I saw the pattern there, I was like, oh, nope, we're not going to try freehand on that. So our blue is almost dry. We still need to do a little, you can see there's a line here between that brighter blue. We'll have to blend that just a wee bit more, and then we can start doing our freehand on that. So if you notice, what I'm doing is I'm bringing a very thin, watery coat of that brighter color, and I'm sweeping it from that midline upward. Because when you sweep up and lift your brush, you're depositing most of the paint where you lift the brush. So we were bringing it up toward the top where it's brighter. Now I want to get a little bit of the kind of middle tone here and do the same thing, but we'll be sweeping from the bottom or toward the bottom. So we'll be pulling it this way. And this is an issue of control. That is always going to be an issue. Because if you get it too watery, you end up having it run into the recesses where the brown is, and that can be a problem. Honestly, I think it's a little bit. It's not really that it's brighter there. It's just there's kind of like a line here, a very soft, like where the material starts to fold over. So we may not be able to disguise that a whole lot. So if that doesn't work, what we'll end up doing is we'll either have to lower the brighter section so it's below that line, or we'll have to raise the darker, the mid-tone above the line to kind of help disguise it. come in here and bring, this is the dark Prussian blue. I'm going to bring some of that from the mid-tone down. So is anybody painting along? If so, what you doing? Digging into our usual questions now. Working on the alt Perdita. Nice. Now, is this the God, which the title or the alt? Oh, okay, cool. That's a good one. That's an older sculpt, or based on an older sculpt, isn't it? Like she's got kind of the boxy looking shoes. I think that's based on a 1E model. That's actually it's one I don't have. I've got her. Her title, and then I've got the alternate France Santiago, the female Santiago, the one that's got their foot on a zombie blowing their brains out. I do have that one, but that's the only alt models I have in that crew. Still pretty new to this game. The face is hard to paint because I glued the dang gun in front. Oh yeah. I mean, I've gotten a lot better at painting assembled models since I started doing weird, because they lend themselves better to being painted as one piece just because they're so fiddly. But yeah, there are some that just benefit from a little subassembly if you can do it, if you think about it in time. And that sounds like that was definitely one of them. Okay. I think we about got our blue where we want to be now for that. So coming in, this is a little bit of that London gray again. Just reinforcing that black just a wee bit, or the highlights on those claws a little bit. Hey, McBluff, how are you doing? Welcome in. Good to see you. How is your new year so far? Doing pretty good. We are painting. I'm happy with that. And we're painting a iconic dreamer, so even more happy. Well, technically, the Teddy of the iconic dreamer, but yeah. We're going to hit it with just a little bit of a lighter gray on that. The tips of those claws a little bit closer to white, but not quite there. So I'm going to give me some white. Oh, just drizzle all over my palette. Just went everywhere. All righty, here we go. La, da, 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 da. See here, we might have to do that one freehand because there's a soft line here. Okay, got those. Now we'll work on the left hand. Sorry for being quiet. It's hard to talk and do a controlled line. We got a little boo-boo up there, don't we? Let's fix that real quick. Not sure when we boo-booed that up. Okay now. Okay. So let's look at their teeth. Ooh, we got little gray mix in. I need to fix that little spot on the cup. Let's turn that. There's like a little bit of wet gray paint in my cup, my rinse cup, and every time I go to rinse brushes, I'm dragging a brush into it, and that's not good. Bad dental care, Teddy. What not to do with your teeth, folks. I mean, technically, he has all his teeth, so it's not too bad all. But they're not pearly whites, right? This is took too much tetracycline when they were a child, Teddy, kind of like me. Okay. Get a little bit of wash here. I don't know if you guys saw me smell that, but I was just making sure it didn't have thinner in it. This is a little Gilliman flesh contrast we're putting in now. Just to break things up a little bit here. It helps bring those teeth out a little bit, yeah? A little on that lip, that'll be okay. Still got to paint those in anyways. That and the gums. Okay. Washing smelling. Yes, we're still talking about paint. How are you doing, Stig? With me, it's always going to be something a little weird. But yeah, we're just. I want to make sure it didn't have thinner in it because I'd done a little oil painting this weekend. I just was trying out a blending process to see if it would work for what I was doing. Let's see here. Let's get in there and do those gums real quick while we're at it. He doesn't have a whole lot. He just has very, very thin little gum line. You mostly see it kind of at the front and at this back edge. I don't know why I find big gums kind of terrifying. I'm not a big fan of teeth, anyways. I don't have an odontophobia, but things with a lot of teeth or teeth where there shouldn't be teeth freak me out. And but the other part of it is I don't like big gums either. Like the Joker, when he's smiling really big, and you see the gums all, the lips stretched up past him and all. It just creeps me out. I don't know why. But it's something you got to deal with sometimes. Like one of the, I don't know if I've got it on my my Facebook page or not, but I did this. It's called a pincer demon, basically like a crab demon. And in addition to the big claws he's got this sword, and the sword is made to look like gums and teeth. And for the purposes of the model, I made it look like, sick gums, like they had gingivitis. And then, of course, with all the teeth and everything, I had a hard time looking at the model when I was painting it. But it turned out really well. I mean, I think it came across super. But it was tough to look at. We'll mix in a little bit of that foreskin with some ivory. Do another layer on those teeth. Okay. Sorry, quiet. I get that way painting these little details. You got to keep me entertained, guys. I know it's supposed to be the other way around, but sometimes it helps to have prompts. Anybody been watching any new spicy coolness on TV, streaming services, whatnot? As much as I'm not a fan of the huge egomaniac that is the director of the Avatar movies, I do want to go see part two, but I want to go see it in an IMAX or in 3D somewhere. I don't want to see just on a plain screen. Of course, that means going down to Atlanta. We all know how much I love to do that. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. It actually looks like two separate teeth there. I do believe it is. Ooh. We messed that up. Contrast back and re-separate those two. There we go. Not perfect, but that'll help. Started the Alice in Borderland series. Yeah, I've heard good things about that one. And the fact they got a second season is promising. Of course, that doesn't mean much with Netflix. Warrior Nun just came off their second season and were canceled before it finished. So that kind of sucks. I'm gonna at some point need to go look up the comic and see if I can find the comic for somewhere to read so I can at least get some closure. Netflix is they really are rough on the shows. I mean, I even heard that Wednesday, which was supposedly already renewed, that they have decided to sell it off to Prime Video, which I thought was crazy because it was so successful. But I'd much rather see it in Prime Video's hands. They'll probably do a better job with it. So what's the premise of Alice in Borderland again? Is it an actual take on Alice in Wonderland, or is it something else? Netflix feels very Wild West at the moment. Yeah. And speaking of, I actually watched the R.I.P.D. sequel the other day, and I almost turned it off in the first 5 minutes. The acting of the one person it showed so far was so bad. I was like, oh, this is going to be like one of those, you know, C grade, B grade movies that you see on late night TV, at 4 a.m. kind of thing. But I ended up sticking with it, watching it, and it wasn't bad, but it still wasn't. It still, it didn't have that chemistry between Ryan Reynolds and oh shit, Jeff Bridges. It wasn't the same. So of course it fell flat. But the original one I loved. I know it was a huge flop. Not many people liked it apparently, but I enjoyed the hell out of it. A good buddy cop movie, especially when it takes a supernatural turn, is something I'm all for. Group of friends in Tokyo, everyone disappears, and our group hit need to face Squid Game games to survive. Well, I found out what caused it all to happen. Oh, okay. Yeah, Squid Games is getting their season 2. It's going to be coming out soon. Should be interesting. Okay, creepy enough teeth there. We need a little bit more ivory going on. I definitely might get the Alice in Borderland a look. I'll probably wait to see if they do a season 3 though. I don't want to get 2 seasons in and then them yank the wool out from under me. With the cancellation, so that same tooth I fucked up again. Pardon my French. That was my one for the day. Hey, Varick, how are you doing? You just here for the Teddy hugs? Teddy's all for that, man. Teddy loves those hugs. How are you doing? Good to see you. We had Doug here, but he stepped away pretty early. Haven't seen him back since. Glad to have another painter in here with us. Sorry I didn't get to check your stream out yesterday. How did Titania's first day go? Oh, you had no audio for a while? Like in your stream, or you had no audio here? Audio in the stream works fine. Okay, cool. Okay. Well, that's a bummer that you had problems with yours. Mix a little bit ivory with that pink we had on the gums. So we're just coming around and tapping highlights on these on the gums around the teeth. Don't need a lot, just a little bit. Okay. And that's almost white there. We're just putting a little dot of it kind of on each little bulge of the gum. There we go. He's starting to look terrifying. Yeah, I am kind of painting it the regular Teddy style, or at least my regular Teddy style. So he's just a brown Teddy with claws and stuff. So, this does come partially assembled. Like Teddy's all one piece, but the head for Dreamer is separate. The wagon axles are separate from the body, so, and then they're separate from the track as well. So you got the wagon here, and the wheels on the track. So I had not planned to get started on those today. So yeah, that's the track and wagon, Dreamer, and Teddy, of course. Now the you probably noticed this with yours as well. The 30 millimeter miniature of this set is assembled. So while the larger one is semi-assembled. Here's a 30 millimeter. I'll pull that out there. You can see it. Here's the 30 millimeter version. Definitely going to be a lot harder paint on that one. And that one was just going to be crazy. Here's a card, which I think is great. Of course, the card unfortunately is invalid now because of the FAQ or the errata. But it's a very neat looking card. I like the black and white artwork on it and the purple. It's really nice. And if you're wondering, Vieric, why the blue belly, well, like the large or like the regular, or unlike the regular Teddy, he does not have the patches on his body. And I've always done freehand on the patches. So since he didn't have those, we had a nice big open area on his belly. So we decided to make that a patch, and we'll be doing a paisley print on here like a bandana material. Looks like a proper Teddy. Yeah. Trying to make him look like a proper Teddy. Funny thing is, for this quote, 75 millimeter scalp, he's the same size as the Teddy, or roughly the same size as the Teddy that you buy. But he wouldn't look very intimidating if he was like actually scaled to be a child's teddy bear, right? So you got to make him a little bigger. I thought he did. I know he got bad touched in was it February? But I thought he got hit again. I could be wrong. Yeah, I thought he'd gotten hit a second time. That's why I was saying that that card wasn't any good. If that's the case, then the card may still be fine. Which is good because I like that card. It's a pretty card. It's a very, very pretty card. Let's see here. Do I have? I do, but I'm not going to go chase it down. I have the original one that came with the title. Let's see here. Let's see. We got the Dreamer, and we got the Dreamer. Diversion, Incorporeal, Protected Nightmares, Serene Countenance, Vivid Nightmares. Okay. So this looks in line. With the current cards. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. So it was errata 21, April 21. So he's not been hit again. I thought he had been. Maybe it was the title version that got hit. No? Not showing it. It's not showing title when it's been hit. So okay. My bad. My bad. Yeah. Serena got hit pretty hard, but she's still worth taking from what I understand. She but she's no longer that lovely out of keyword, right? Which I think was the biggest point. They were trying to make it so that she wasn't an auto-include out of keyword. And with a little bit of that mix. That's charcoal crayon black. Play the pre-autorata version of Dreamer only once, and wow, felt nice, too nice. Yeah, that's what I've heard. He's still good. He's just not like bad feeling too good now. I unfortunately had not played a game with him since he got errataed. He definitely was a lot of fun before. But unlike other people that are really good with the game, he didn't feel too good. He felt like I had a chance winning with him, right? Because I'm kind of crap at the game. So it's like, well, he's not horrible to me. I mean, he doesn't seem that bad at all, but at least I have a chance now. Cat, we had this discussion. I pitted you earlier. Leave me alone now. That just got a little too bright there. So, just working on the nose a little bit here, trying to get these toned down a little bit. I went a little too bright on those highlights. Got away from looking like black and more like gray, which we didn't want. So, I'll bring a little bit of black wash in here. I think that tones it down a little bit more where I want it. Okay. We still really haven't decided on the eyes. Kind of don't know where we want to go with those, but we do need to do something. Gonna bring some kind of black lining down here a little bit around these lips and the gum. Make them stand out a wee better. Okay, there we go with that. Now, I'll come in and do a few of it. What do we want to do? What do we want to do? We can work on the paisley. Do that. Let's see here. Manifest nightmares once per turn. Name any construct. Non-construct. Aren't they constructs? Yeah, see, they're constructs. That's why. Figured it had to be a reason in there. It was either that or it's like a point value. Couldn't, but I figured other things like Insidious Nightmares cost more than that, so it wasn't a points thing. Keep them from doing it. I'm kind of nervous about painting that. Let me see about getting a new brush out because that one's just starting to hook too much. We got some for Christmas. Let's try them out. See how they work. They're in here somewhere, I promise. They are. Let's see here. It was an Errata 2021 one, so it will not be in the GG3 cards. But you can get them from Drive-Thru RPG, I think it is, that does them. Or Game Vault. Game Vault, that's the one. So that one has a little bit of a hook to start with. Let's see here what this one looks like, the Zero. Yeah, that one looks pretty good. Let's give that one a whirl, see what it does. They do not have much starch in them. That's good. This is something you do with new brushes. They'll typically have starch in them. So the bristles are nice and stiff. So I get a little bit of brush soap on my fingers and pull it alongside it, or just, kind of squeezing it without bending. You don't want to bend. Bend will break. But these had almost none in them. So they're good to go almost out of the package. So we're working on that print here. Probably going to need to pull up a reference too, because it's been a while since I've done this, just to see what little designs they have besides the little teardrop that you see. You know, Vieric, I wish I could do that. I'm very, very much tied to paper products and token products. I know I'm old fashioned, but I just like, I don't like kind of flip through my damn phone over and over again to look at cards. Now, if I ever got to the point where I was comfortable enough to only occasionally reference my cards, I probably wouldn't need to fall back on them as much and would be more likely to do the digital. But unfortunately, I'm horrible. I'm not good with the cards. So I'm constantly looking at and flipping them as I'm trying to decide what to do with my next activation. And that gets really, really difficult on the phone. Trading card game player. Yeah, yeah. I mean, like I said, I kind of feel the same way, but it is, as often as we're getting updates, it is probably a bad habit to have, right? Okay, there's our first little pattern. Let me pull some up here. Bandana pattern. And so we'll do some. Where's here? Let me flip back real quick so I can see what you guys are doing. See if we can get these lined out here. It was. It's Captain Sneezy Pants. He's upset because I am not giving him attention. He does have food though, so we I thought we had an agreement before stream that I would pet him now and he would leave me alone during stream, but he is reneged on that deal. So he gets nothing. Probably should do a little bigger pattern or a little bigger magnifiers, but we're just going to keep going for a while with this. I got paint on there before I look. Got pattern. Okay, they did a lot of little curly cues and almost like leaf looking things. All right. So who was it that wanted to see the bandana pattern? We make sure you're here seeing it. Cool. Thank you, Slimify. Appreciate that. We want to do some white dots on that. We could do that. Kind of winging it. Goodness, cat. Cough it out already. What I need to do is get my tablet out so I can have it pulled up to the side so I don't have to keep alt tabbing over to look at it. Okay. Whoa, that got a little crazy. I had to fix that. Good thing is that's in a very nice, easy to fix location. That's almost all Prussian blue there. Let me just correct that right out. So now, rather than trying to make it super random, I've got 4 little symbols here. I'm just going to try and stretch it out, like do those 4 again, but offset. Cat, we had this discussion, son. Go on. Go. Go. I'm trying to stream here. Well, the brush is not cooperating now. What is wrong with you? Paint. Paint, paint, paint. There we go. That's what I was after. We may have to add one more symbol so we have a little bit more offset. So, or one more design doohickey. We could just do a regular. We'll start doodad. I mean, like a clover. All right, now we'll start our other previous pattern here. Sorry, guys. I am definitely not being entertaining today. We're having doing this pattern. I just get super absorbed into it. So we can get a couple little dots here on the other side. There we go. And then we'll do our little teardrop shape. Here we go. Oh, got it now. Well, I appreciate it. I definitely do not like dead air. It's not super entertaining normally, but I appreciate that. Try to keep the flow of conversation going, but when you're doing little bitty patterns, I mean, granted, these aren't tiny, but they're pretty tiny. You know what I mean? Gonna do a tiny little correction here. All right. And another one right down here. And then we'll do our little black inside lining. Hey, pencil click. Blah, 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 blah. Slowly Denson, thank you for that raid of 13 people. Wow. And pencil clicker, how are you doing? Or clicker? Goodness, I'll get it one of these days. I am horrible with names. Absolutely horrible bad. Quicks, Captain? I'm not sure, but thank you for that. Hello, Daria. Yeah, baby Kate, Teddy. We're painting the iconic Dreamer today. This is the Dreamer figure himself. Teddy comes in behind him like this, and they're sitting in a runaway wagon. Doing good slowly. Thank you so much for bringing your people over here. Here's the base, like the wooden ramp that they're running down. I have not got any paint down laid down on that, and the wagon, also not assembled or put together, or primed. And then this is the 30mm version that comes with it as well. So this is the one that you can actually put on the table and game with. Now it comes assembled. The other one comes in parts. Not a lot. You see the two axles of the wagon, the base, and then Dreamer's head is separate. And the Teddy and Dreamer are separate. It is relatively new. First seen at Gen Con, I think, or Nova. I can't remember. Which is where I got my first one. And then I don't know. Weird Hobby Llama, are they available yet? Didn't this come out in December? Or is it a December release? I could 100% be wrong. I'm not sure. But it is relatively new or upcoming new, one of the two. I think they're out this month. That's what I was thinking. This particular one I know, or I think was, and was the titanium one? I'm not sure. Anyways, that's what we're working with today. So we got that done. Let's switch over to a little bit of this Frenzian Gray, Fenrisian Gray. We'll work on the stitches a little bit. Didn't see them on the Black Friday stuff. I don't know. They may have been there. They may not have been. I didn't see. I got my Mecha Mima, and was looking for the DC Cat. That was mainly what I got for on the Game Grounds 3 cards. That was mainly what I got from Black Friday sale. Two Malifaux miniatures on the stream. Nice. Very cool. Do you normally paint Malifaux miniatures? Or was this a new thing for you? All right, Sully Denson, have a great day. Thank you for bringing your people over. Ooh, that one's going to be hard to get to. Ah, the two nurses. Good figures. Were they the new like 3E, or were they the old 2E style? I guess the 2E style were the same. 1E or 2E, yeah. I kind of like the first edition ones, with the hugely gigantic syringes and stuff like that. Their second edition. All right, Elo. Hello. Have a great night. Thank you for dropping in. Is slowly on EU time. Thanks, Dragon. Appreciate it. Oops. He's falling off again. I need to drop all slowly a follow. I don't think I have yet. Because I think that's the second time he's raided into us. I haven't been doing a whole lot of Twitch time myself, other than these streams here. So definitely want to catch one of their streams. Paper. Do we have paper? Okay. Yeah, I got it written down. I'll take a look later. That's what I'll do. Okay, so it must be EU time because that's everybody's going to bed. Thank you for hanging out, Pencil Clicker. Have a great night. See you next time. Coming in with a little bit of pale blue now. Yeah. When you have people going to bed at 5 p.m. Eastern, is definitely EU time, or mostly EU people. Which is why it surprised me. One of my viewers that was always in stream, or almost always in stream, Heretic Scott. They're in Scotland, so they're on EU time. But they were in my streams, which are always late night. But apparently they're young and don't require much sleep, so they're up, 17, 18 hours a day plus. So he was always able to catch my streams. Gonna come in here with some white. Do a little edging on those stitches. Highlighting here and there. Usually the same. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm a late nighter too, but not as much as I used to be, mainly because I'm not sleeping the 3 hours that I need. I can't do anymore for some reason. Um, but I used to only sleep 3 hours a night. You know, it was good enough for Albert Einstein. It's good enough for me. Um, but it required sleeping, like literally going to sleep the minute I touched the pillow and staying asleep the entire time. I haven't done that in a long time, so I found I need more sleep because I'm not getting REM sleep at all. Like I haven't had a 3 hour period of full sleepfulness in weeks. So I'm on the edge. All right, Vic, have a great night. Thank you for hanging out for a little bit. He's been pretty fun. Get a little white just on the highlight, just a little bit on these teeth here. We don't want them to look too white, but we want a little bit of sheen to them. Still don't know what color to do his eyes, guys. Any suggestions? Do we want to paint him like actual eyes, like marbles, like just evil green or red or orange glowy? What do we want to do those eyes as? Oh, he's a green fan. Yeah, I am too. I am too. Oh, wait, there he goes, falling off again. Thank goodness he didn't do that while I was laying down a bit of that freehand, huh? And here he goes again. Okay, I gotta get a little piece of an extra piece of sticky tack because apparently that is not enough. yeah, that's pretty rough. I mean, that's basically what I do. I'm up every day at 6 a.m. People be like, "How you go to bed at 3 and get up at 6?" What I do, but now, like I said, I'm not getting my REM sleep, and I am suffering. So I've had to start going to bed earlier, and I've had my catch up days a lot more often. Like I used to, it would be like once every 3 weeks or so. I'd have a catch up day where I basically just go into a coma for like 18 hours. Now it's like once a week. My one day off. So I don't get anything accomplished on my day off. Just spent sleeping. Goodness, we are close to the end, aren't we? Jeez, Manini. Goodness gracious, where did the time go? We spent so much time fiddle farting with those airbrushes. That's what it was. And getting nothing done, nothing accomplished. No, we did. I think Teddy's looking good. Time flies when you're having rum. I like that. I don't have any rum. I need to get some. I made a big batch of rum runners in October and used up the last of the rum. And those things are so good. You have to really watch yourself because it just tastes like, well, it tastes like adult fruit punch, and you'll be walking on your knees if you drink too many. You have to, and by too many, I usually mean like 2 or 3. That's too many. So week after next, Wednesday after next, we'll be probably working on Dreamer more. I'll probably work on Teddy off stream a little bit and finish him up. And then we'll be working on Dreamer and maybe the wagon week after next. Probably won't be doing near as much airbrushing, maybe a little bit, but definitely be working on him week after next. And after that, probably going to be working on some Cadmus. Do the Nexus Kids, the one of many, and the Night Silk Creeper. Night Silk Creeper, I think, will be fun because it's going to be a very new to me technique. I'm kind of making it up on the go, trying to do a non-metallic iridescence. So instead of using metallic paints, I'm going to just be using flat paints and trying to do an iridescent shell or carapace on the Night Silk Creeper. It very likely is going to fail, but we're going to try it. I'm going to apologize for this now. What do you call... didn't give me a chance to read it. Gluten for punishment. I like that. That's good. That's good. Still going to come in and paint the fur too. We're not done with the fur yet on him. But again, I didn't figure anybody would want it to watch me paint individual fur pieces over and over again. Thought there was much more video delay than there was. Okay. Yeah, I think it's 15 seconds is what it defaults to if you don't select more delay, or if you select for real time conversation. I think it's 15 seconds, which it wouldn't have taken me that long to read it. It's just that I've got to look up and notice it and then read it. All good, man. All good. Don't worry about it. So we had one vote on like green glowy eyes for him. And that is definitely a possibility. We can definitely do that, especially since this is a larger model. We can get in there and actually do some airbrush OSL kind of thing with it, or airbrush glow, or you know what I mean, glowing done with an airbrush. So it'll be nice and smooth fades and stuff. It won't be all that extra brush work like when I'm trying to do things by hand glazing in. Let's see here. Any tips for those of us that are super new to painting? Yeah, actually, I've been meaning to put out a video on this. But first and foremost, practice. Okay. Practice every day. And I know a lot of us are busy. All of us are busy. You don't have a lot of time, but practice at least 15 minutes a day, every day. Okay. I've noticed that since I have been so overcome with work lately that I have not been able to paint, that my skill and my speed have gone down a lot. And this is especially important when you're new. Practice every day, just a little bit, 15 minutes. That's a cup of coffee. That's a trip to the restroom. You can do that. Number two, don't compare yourself to other people. Okay. Don't go on Facebook or Instagram and start comparing yourself to Calvador or God, I can't think of Sergio or Angel or any of those people. Don't compare yourself to them. It's going to discourage you. There will come a point where you can look at them for inspiration. That's great, but try to stay away from those social media sites when you first start, because the tendency is to compare your work to theirs. Don't. It will discourage the hell out of you. Get you a paint line that you like, a few colors in their primary ranges that you can mix. If you don't want a whole lot of colors and you really want to learn how to do things like undertones and stuff like that, pick up the Chimera paints. They are all single pigment paints. You'll spend a lot more time mixing, but if you're not on the camera on stream where this time is an issue, these are really good because they are single pigment paints. Therefore, when you mix yellow and red, you get orange. You don't get mud like you do with some of these other paints. When you get these paints, they're multiple pigments in here. So when you mix a red and yellow with it, you don't really get the color you're looking for, or a red and blue. You don't get, your purple, your violet color. You get this kind of brown, muddy looking purple. It's gross. So these sets, the Chimera paints, I think it's 14 paints, single pigment paints, and I think it's $75 roughly. And with those colors, you can make any color because you got your white, a pure black, and then your other 12 or 13 colors. So that's kind of my bit of advice. If you want to get a few paints just to get started, get those because they're pure pigment and you can mix them and they come out with the expected results. Okay, you don't get unexpected results because it's only one pigment in each bottle. I know that's probably a lot, but that's probably my top 3 tips for you. So, you know, we're about wraps us up too. So if you hadn't already seen, there's my social media link over that away. The exclamation point haunted brings up my Willow link that has my Facebook, my Instagram, my woefully unupdated YouTube channel, which I will eventually post that video I talked about with the tips. These were questions that I had been asked for the interview for Nature Planet. They didn't include them, and I felt bad because it was like it was only talking about me. Granted, it was an artist spotlight, but I wanted to contribute a little, and that was my way of doing it, was talking about tips and tricks for new painters. So yeah, follow that link, like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. It's free. Doesn't cost you nothing. Make it be a lot cooler if you did. And if you aren't already following Weird Miniatures, Play Weird, Play Weird, please do so. I mean, you're here. You may as well click that little like button. So I guess that's it for now. We got a good little bit of progress done. Did some blending on the claws. Did some airbrushing work on the fur. We got some cool little pattern. Some little okay, we'll wrap it up. All right, guys. We'll see you weekend after next, or Wednesday after next. Till then, stay weird. Thank you all. Be safe.